They're going to introduce themselves, talk to you, and then after that, you can see on your agenda is when you're going to have time to meet with your advisors. So this is just a brief introduction. They can tell you who they are, what their interests are, things like that, their current research. And we'll start right here. Dr. Smith.
I'm Ray Smith. Those of you who are PhD candidates will be meeting me in L600 this fall. It'll be your introduction to graduate school for many of you. And Wright, come on up.
There's a chair down there.
If you'd been here on time, you could have gone first. And right now, I'm working on, believe it or not, a English textbook for Chinese materials scientists. Next. I'd prefer not to elaborate.
My name is Beth Lewis-Wilson, and I am interested in language policy in East Africa, particularly Rwanda. Corollary to that is I'm interested in education in conflict settings, in failed or endangered state settings, and most recently here I've been working with students on personal language learning environments, so undergraduate language acquisition, do a variety of things. I teach basic linguistics classes, educational linguistics.
And she's back from sabbatical. Good to have you back. I'm Donna Adamant, and I'm giving a course in the fall, L631, Multicultural and International Literature for Children and Young Adults, big title. There's still a couple of spots if you're interested. It's a great class when people have taken that in their first semester to accompany L600 because we're going to be talking about a lot of the same theories that you'll be learning about there, except we also do disability studies. I think you guys are doing that, right? No. So have a look. If you want any information, you can talk to me afterwards. So my research is in the area of children's and mostly children's literature, especially with disability studies these days, but I've also done a lot with drama and literacy, and just good old generic elementary literacy practices. I've worked with students in classroom studies that they've worked on. So, oh, and we also have a certificate program a graduate certificate program in children's and young adult literature. If you are interested, you can also ask me about that.
Hi, I'm Sharon Daly, and I teach mostly undergrad classes with our pre-service teachers in their elementary ed program. But this semester, I won't see any of you yet, but I'll be teaching the capstone class for the master's program. It's a great class. You'll enjoy it when you get there. Farida has designed it very well. And so those are my teaching responsibilities. As far as research, I have a group of colleagues who I work with on pre-service teacher identity development, looking at that through, in particular, the use of digital stories.
Cool. Hi, I'm Mitzi Lewison. Just got back from a year sabbatical, so it's kind of easing in. I think I'm back, getting ready for class. Like Beth, I have an interest in working with students and faculty in conflict zones. My work has been in Afghanistan specifically. But I also do a lot of work here, looking at critical literacy in elementary and middle school classrooms. I just have finished a second edition of one of my books, Critical Literacy. It's actually teaching children's literature is critical, is the exact title of that. So having a second edition is pretty exciting. And I'm actually happy to be back, which is, at first I wasn't so sure, because I had a great year of traveling the world, literally, and it's nice to be back.
Well, hello again, I'm James D'Amico, and the two research projects I've been immersed in for the last few years, one focuses on climate change literacy, what does it mean to be literate about climate change, and working primarily with pre-service teachers around their beliefs about climate change, and ways of kind of developing a conception of what does it mean to be critically literate about climate change. So that's one project. The other project is situated in Argentina, where we're trying to understand the way people in Argentina commemorate particular traumatic events of their history. This is the period of severe state terrorism in 1976 through 1983. Sometimes it's known as the Dirty War. And we have a team of students and faculty working on that project. If you're interested in that topic, we are, and we have a filmmaker working on that project with us, so we're working on a documentary and a book around that particular project.
I'm Karen Walland, and my research is in the intersection of early childhood, technology, and children's popular media. And I very much focus on play as a new and powerful way of making meaning. So I help young children make films using iPads, little inexpensive toys, and also work in maker spaces to do something we're calling toy hacking, where they change the identity of toys so that they fit better their stories. In my teaching, I'm working this semester online in the online EDD program. Hello, everyone. And we are going to be working at early inquiry projects, and we'll be doing a collaborative research project together across time and space, and as students also work on their independent ideas for research. And then in the spring, I teach a course called Mediated Discourse Analysis, where we look at the ways that the environment and all the things, the candy on the table, all of these things mean, and how we use those to actually shape the world. So, there. Take your class.
Sounds interesting. My name is Farida Pawan. My area is in ESL, English as a Second Language, English as a Foreign Language teacher education. In Indiana, it's known as English as a New Language. There's a lot of discussion as to why that is called that. My area of research is in the informal and formal ways that ESL, EFL teachers are trained and professionally developed. That's one of the areas, and along those lines, I have 3 grant projects in China. I just finished data collection in Turkey, in Kazri Cheshme, and a new developing project in the Dominican Republic. And I work also in Indiana schools with ESL and content area teachers. My other area is in hybrid and online teacher education. And for those of you taking L750/L60, that there are 2 classes of that. One is offered online, and the other is offered face-to-face. And there'll be a point whereby the 2 classes will also meet on some kind of a platform. Also, if you're interested in the ESL, EFL professional development certificate, I am the person that you could email, and Chanel is the most responsible member of the team. So, but if you're interested in that certificate, we would be very glad to talk to you. So thank you.
Hello, everybody. Sorry, I'm Southern. I need call and response. Hey. I am Stephanie Power Carter. What do you need to know about me? He's teaching. Teaching. I teach in the English education program area for undergrads primarily. I also teach graduate courses, starting to teach more graduate courses, hopefully. But one that I usually teach in the summer is the whiteness course, and it really looks at privilege and power. And I have lots of research interest. I continue to evolve as a scholar. Right now, whiteness is sort of a lens that I use, and Black feminist theory. Those are 2. A lot of my work is in the community, so I do a lot of community literacy work as well. And I have tons of projects, and some that I'm just getting started on. So I look forward to speaking with all of you and getting to know you. Welcome.
Thank you, Stephanie. First of all, welcome to all of you. I know you've all come on a very long journey
broken various kinds of connections that you've had in your lives in order to be here and so on. Those of you who are here by distance, I'm also welcoming you. I've been watching everything at home, and that's one of the reasons I came late, because I was so enthralled with what you were talking about, I forgot to look at the time and then quickly come in. But anyway, I've been here for many, many years, and I've seen some, program changes and so on, and I understand from the various students that I've worked with how that journey also impacts your own lives. My research tends to be looking more at the students in classes and their ways of learning how to become better learners, how to better understand language in particular, because my area, and I work closely with Dr. Pawan as well as Dr. Samuelson, is she here?
Yes.
Okay, right down there. In the areas of English as a second language as well as world languages. And in those areas, I am very interested in both teacher professional development. I've done many different teacher professional development workshops in various parts of the world, hopefully in a part of the world where you're from as well. And I also teach a course up at the University of Minnesota, which is also pretty international. But here at home, I teach a methods course, primarily in the undergraduate area. There is a graduate section of that as well, so if anyone would be interested, that's open. And I have various research projects. 2 are funded right now, and I'll just talk about those 2. One is that the state of Indiana has opened up for a big initiative in dual language immersion. So in other words, not total immersion, but dual language immersion. And I'm looking at how teachers are learning through the professional development lens, as well as from students' own perspective, little kindergartners, mind you, how they conceive of and take the ways that they're taught, as also the language that they're growing into and learning to understand that. I'm also very skeptical. I'm taking a skeptical lens about what the research literature says about how children absorb language and questioning that in various ways. So, and then the other research project has to do with content-based language learning, in which children learn another language through a content area. But I'll just leave it at that, because I think
We have one more.
Mary Beth Hines, who also is on the other end of this wonderful spectrum, is about to introduce herself.
Hi, everybody. I'm Mary Beth. I teach in the English Ed program area with Stephanie, and that issues for both of us from our experience as high school English teachers. My areas of interest include language and literacy education as they intersect with and contradict issues of social justice. And the courses that I have created have been organized around those themes so that we could trouble some of the foundational principles upon which language and literacy education is built.